When they handed her the mop and pointed to the restroom, they had no idea they were making the biggest mistake of their careers. What happened next would shake the entire company to its core. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My mother said I wouldn't even reach 500 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show her that these tales matter. Dr. Michelle Torres walked through those glass doors on a Tuesday morning wearing jeans and a simple blouse. She had an MBA from Harvard and 15 years running corporate operations, but none of that mattered to Karen Whitley. The assistant manager took one look at Michelle's brown skin and made an assumption that would cost her everything. Without asking her name, without checking any paperwork, Karen shoved cleaning supplies into Michelle's hands. "Start with the toilets in the back," she said, her voice dripping with contempt. "They're absolutely disgusting." Michelle stood there, feeling every eye in that store burning into her. Customers shifted uncomfortably. Staff members whispered and smirked behind their hands. Karen's voice grew sharper, louder, enjoying the power she thought she had. "Did you hear me? Or do I need to speak slower?" The words hung in the air like poison. Michelle could have ended it right there, could have pulled out her corporate ID and watched Karen's face crumble. But she didn't. She wanted to see how deep this cruelty ran. She took the mop. She walked toward those bathrooms, and with every step, she was building a case that would bring their entire world crashing down. Michelle cleaned those toilets in silence, watching everything. 20 minutes passed like 20 hours. Karen circled back, her voice cutting through the store like a whip. "You call this clean? My grandmother could do better, and she's been dead for 5 years." Laughter erupted from the break room. Other employees had joined the show, each one adding their own cruel comment, their own dismissive glance. This wasn't just Karen, this was a culture, a system, a pattern that had been festering for months. Michelle scrubbed and listened and remembered every single word. Then the store manager arrived. David Chen walked in carrying his briefcase, checking his watch, looking around anxiously. "Karen, where's the new regional director? We have a meeting scheduled." Karen barely looked up from her phone. She laughed, actually laughed. "No one important came in today, David, just the new cleaning girl." She pointed at Michelle with her thumb like she was indicating a piece of furniture. David's face went pale. He knew what the regional director looked like. He'd seen her photo in dozens of corporate emails. Michelle stood up slowly. She set down the toilet brush with careful precision. She walked back into that main area, every eye following her now for a completely different reason. "I'm Dr. Michelle Torres," she said quietly, "your regional director." The mop hit the floor. Karen's mouth opened, but no sound came out. The entire store fell into a silence so complete you could hear hearts breaking. Michelle didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She called an immediate staff meeting. Every employee gathered in a circle that felt like a courtroom. She recounted every insult, every assumption, every moment of degradation with calm precision. Karen tried to apologize, stumbling over words about misunderstandings and bad days, but Michelle raised one hand and the excuses died in the air. "This wasn't a misunderstanding," Michelle said. "This was a choice." She pulled the security footage, and there it was, everything captured in brutal clarity. Then the interviews began, and the dam broke. Employee after employee came forward with their own stories. Maria from inventory, who'd been mocked for her accent. James from receiving, who'd been passed over for promotions he'd earned. 3 people had filed complaints about Karen in the past 6 months, complaints that David had quietly buried in his desk drawer. The evidence was overwhelming. Karen was terminated that afternoon, her badge collected, her locker emptied, her power stripped away in minutes. David received a formal reprimand and barely kept his job. But Michelle wasn't finished. She launched a company-wide audit that exposed toxic managers in 7 other locations. Policies changed. Training became mandatory. A direct hotline was established where voices couldn't be silenced anymore. Months later, Michelle stood before the press explaining what happened. "They saw someone they thought had no power," she said, "so they revealed exactly who they were. But dignity doesn't come from a title, it's something you carry inside. Real power isn't about crushing people beneath you. It's about making sure no one ever has to scrub toilets while being called less than human."